You are listening to Monkee Mornings, which is a special program, a part of Rock the Clock, Radio Depaul's 48-hour live broadcast, which is a fundraiser for Lurie Children's Hospital. And if you want to donate to help support our cause, just go to our website and click the banner at the top of the page, and you can donate and help support us. So, also, thank you so much to our sponsors for this event. This hour is sponsored by Do Right Donuts. So, if you were here yesterday, or if you weren't here yesterday, Monkee Mornings is just me, Kieran, exploring the Monkees. So yesterday I gave a Monkees 101. I went through all the not all the albums. I went through all the 60s albums, and I played my favorites. And today I want to explore post-Monkees releases, and some unreleased stuff, and then I also want to explore some of their solo music, particularly Mike Nesmith's. We're gonna have a big chunk of Mike Nesmith's solo music, mostly because he had the most prolific solo career, or more extensive solo career, and also just because I really like his solo music, and I think more people need to listen to it. So to start it off, I have 3 tracks. Today is going to be less talking than yesterday. It's going to be less educating, more just music time, which I guess is better. So I have 2 tracks to start off, and then a live track. So the first 2 tracks are both from outtakes of the More of the Monkees 1967 album, Ladies Aid Society, the original mono mix. So this song was actually released later on, re-recorded and re-released later on for the Monkees Present. But personally, I like this version that they recorded for More of the Monkees and then didn't use. I like it a lot more than the one they put on the Monkees Present. And then Through the Looking Glass, this is the first recorded version of it. Again, this is another one that they released later on, from the vault. And this one was released on Instant Replay, and I like this version more. I think it's a little more garage. And then I have a track from their live album for their 1967 tour. And I think it's really important that if we're discussing the Monkees, to talk about them playing their own instruments. Because, so when you think about it, 2 of the Monkees, 3 of the Monkees had, previous live performing experience instrument-wise, and that's Mickey, Peter, and Mike. Davey was a Broadway performer, but didn't have much live performing music, instrument playing experience. And Mickey also, even though he did have a band before the Monkees, wasn't a drummer before the Monkees. He was a guitar player. So when you think about it, they had to come in and they had to learn to play all these instruments together in less than a year and go on tour. And it's crazy. They did it. They were very fast learners, and it's very interesting to see how quickly they had to adapt to just being thrown into it. So that's why I wanted to play a track from the live album, and it's Forget That Girl. It's a Davey song. I like it. I rock with it more than I do the recorded version, just because when they performed on stage, they would get more fun with it, more garage rock with it. So here is Ladies Aid Society.
In every little town and village too, somewhere in the neighborhood, you'll find a little band of ladies who can't stop doing good. Good for the pigeons in the park, good for their weekly tea, good for the National Bank where they keep their treasury.
With the ladies
their picket signs in hand, with their blue and white pleated uniforms and their all-girl five-piece band. Down with long-haired singing groups, down with the mayor too. And if you're under 65, they're down on you.
We're the lazy society, and we just want to sell you the truth. We're the lazy society, and it's time we clamp down on the youth. Oh, swing it,
You call my name, then you run for protection. I reach out to hold you, but it's just your reflection through the looking glass. You've been looking at your life through a mirror. It's time you start seeing things a little bit clearer. And through the looking glass, let me break through, girl. I still love you, girl. I think you love me by the way you come on, girl. Then I turn around for a minute, just gone, girl. Through the looking glass. I've got some things that I'm trying to show you, but you fade away. How can I get to know you? Through the looking glass. You're looking through me like you never knew. You call my name, then you run for protection. I reach out to hold you, but it's just a reflection through the looking glass.
What's the name of the song? Never forget it. Forget that girl.
you.
All right, welcome back to Monkey Morning with Kieran. We just heard 3 tracks from the Monkees. We heard Ladies Aid Society, the first recorded version of Through the Looking Glass, and the live version of Forget That Girl. So, some would say that Ladies Aid Society is one of the worst Monkees songs. And, look, I'm not those some. I love Ladies Aid Society. I think it's so funny. I don't care if it's bad. To me, it sounds like something like Animal Collective or like an experimental indie band would put out like today. So that's why I really like it. So that's why that was the first song of the morning. Wake up and experience Davy Jones. Anyways, moving on. So, okay. In the 80s, the Monkees started putting out, the first one came out in the 80s and the next 2 came out in the 90s. But these albums called Missing Links, which were basically just compilation albums of tracks that they had recorded and hadn't released. So I'm just going to go through and play my favorite tracks from each of the Missing Links albums. But first, before we start on Missing Links 1, I have a track from Head that I wasn't able to play yesterday because I didn't have time. And that is the alternate mix of Can You Dig It? Now, I like the alternate mix more than I like the original. Well, I like the original too. But I am a bigger fan of the alternate mix because the alternate mix is a Peter vocal. And I like that more because he wrote the song. And if we got our way, we would have had the full version of it and not the cut movie version. But we can't get into the injustice of Peter Tork again today. We can't. Or else I'll go on for hours. Okay. So, after we play Can You Dig It, the alternate version, I have the first recorded version of Carlisle Wheeling, which was initially recorded in 1968, and it's got a beautiful Peter Tork banjo part. And then I have My Share of the Sidewalk, also recorded in 1968. Most of these just assume that they were recorded in 1968. And I will say, if they are not, I think there's only one track that I picked that wasn't recorded in 1968, and that's on a later one. But My Share of the Sidewalk, it's a Davy song. Personally, I think it's very Broadway. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite song ever, but somebody very near and dear to me loves this song, so I figured I would play it. And then finally, I have 9 Times Blue, which is a Mike song. Again, it's just a great song. Mike obviously loved the song because he re-recorded it many times in his solo career. There's also a demo version of it that was released with Headquarters Sessions that's really good, but I figured I would play the Missing Links version because it's also good. Anyways, here is Can You Dig It?
Something doesn't change. There is only one, always changing inside. What does it become? Can you dig it? Do you know? Would you care to let it show? Those who know it use it.
2, 3, 4.
In a long and involved conversation with myself, I saw precious things come into view. When I bored through the files taken off my mental shelf, I dusted off some memories of you. Then I thought about the time when all the bird was green, how the phoenix of our love first flapped its silken wings, all the urgency and passion of each new day as it happened, how it all mellowed as it grew. I remember the times that our laughter would explode, and how you would turn to hide your smile. Then the hours of silence while the perfumed candle glowed, and both our thoughts meandered on for miles. I remember the time I said I really had to go. I remember the tears that filled your eyes. Then I touched your hand and told you that it really was a lie. Though you never knew it, dear, I cried. It's amazing how time can so softly change your ways and make you look at things that can't be seen. How the years that roll by can start you listening, not just to what they say, but what they mean. So forgive me, my dear, if I seem preoccupied, if the razor edge of youth-filled love is gone. But we're both a little older, our relationship has grown, not just in how it's shaped, but how it's shown. So forgive me, my dear, if I seem preoccupied, if the razor edge of youth-filled love is gone. But we're both a little older, our relationship has grown, not just in how it's shaped, but how it's shown.
If you're the girl that I notice putting a dime in my mind's eye, then you're more than welcome to my share of the sidewalk. If you're the chick I saw in the tall grass looking at summer through tinted blue glass, then you're more than welcome to my share of the sidewalk. 'Cause I've never been this close before to someone who didn't seem to mind. I've never found hellos before, I've only found goodbyes. My daydreams having our flowers and chocolate ice cream, and you're more than welcome to my share on the sidewalk. If you're the girl that I talked to and said, do you mind if I love you, then you're more than welcome to my share on the sidewalk. 'Cause I've never been this close before to someone who didn't run and hide. I never found
now. Hellos before, I've only found goodbyes. Hey! If you're the girl I met in my daydreams, handing out flowers and chocolate ice cream, then you're more than welcome to my share of the sidewalk. If you're the girl that I talked to and said, do you mind if I love you, then you're more than welcome to my share of the sidewalk.
There's a certain something in the way you looked at me and said you'd stay that let me know that I was out of line. But I didn't know what else to do, and like a fool I tested you by demanding things of you which weren't mine. And now I feel like such a fool for making you crawl back to me. But you did it with such love that you're standing far above me and all I did to you. I'm sorry now, what can I do? I know that never in the world could I have found me such a girl who's there to pick me up before I fall. And if in the end we should go both our separate ways, I know the lesson I've learned here is worth it all. 'Cause now I feel like such a fool for making you crawl back to me. But you did it with such love that you're standing far above me and all I did to you. I'm sorry now, what can I do? I know that never in the world could I have found me such a girl who's there to pick me up before I fall. And if in the end we should go both our separate ways, I know the lesson I've learned here is worth it all.
All right, welcome back to Monkee Morning on Radio Depaul. And if you're just tuning in, Monkee Morning is a special program for Radio Depaul's 48-hour live broadcast, Rock the Clock. And if you want to support our cause, which is Lurie Children's Hospital, you can go to our website and click the banner to donate. So we just heard 4 tracks. We heard Can You Dig It? Alternate Mix, Superior one. Sorry, Mickey. And then we heard the first recorded version of Carlisle Wheeling, My Share of the Sidewalk, and 9 Times Blue. So one thing is like, obviously I had to do a pretty decent amount of research for this show. Or not. So a lot of this is just knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, but I still wanted to back up like over the year, singular. But I still wanted to back up everything that I was saying. So there's this Monkees archive website, sunshinefactory.coolcherrycream, and it's a really helpful resource if you care about Monkees history at all. But one thing I will say is that when you go and you look at like the missing links tracks, a ton of them, she has them listed as being recorded as on February 8th, 1968, which for any Me fans out there, February 8th is my birthday. So pretty cool stuff. I know it's not true for some of them, but I know it is true for this next song that I'm going to play, and that is St. Matthew, off of Missing Links Volume 2. Volume 2 came out in 1990, And I know St. Matthew was recorded on my birthday because there's also this tome book called Monkees Day by Day, which is exactly what it sounds like. It goes through Monkees history day by day. And February 8th, 1968, they were recording St. Matthew. And then I also have another Peter track. This one is a favorite of mine, not just because it's a Peter track, but because it's a good song. And that's Come On In. It was also recorded in 1968. And then moving on to Missing Links Part 3, or Volume 3, we have my most favorite, number one, best song ever, the world's most important Monkees song. It's everything. It's show-stopping, and that is Tear the Top Right Off My Head. It means everything to me. It's I cannot express how good Tear the Top Right Off My Head is. It's a Peter song. And it was rejected. It was another rejected song for the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees, because he was done so wrong. It's like I can't talk about Peter without complaining about how terribly he was treated, but that's just like the nature of being what some would describe a Peter girl or Peter guy. You gotta go in, you gotta defend. And to finish off the Missing Links tracks, I have Angel Band, which was not recorded in 1968. It was recorded in 1969, and it's a Mike song. It's cute. It's pretty. I like it. That's my reasoning for that one. I just like this one. So this is my beautiful birthday song, St. Matthew.
She walks around on brass rings that never touch her feet. She speaks in conversations that never are complete. And looking over past things that she has never done, she calls herself St. Matthew and she is on the run. She stoops down to gather partly shattered men, and knows that when it's over, it will start again. But the time she smiled, it was a portrait of the sun. She calls herself St. Matthew, and she's on the run. Part of it is loneliness and knowing how to steal, but most of it is will.
I guess we'll never know just what went wrong. You know it's been a whole year has passed us by and gone, but we're back together now where we belong. So baby, come on in. Come on in. I heard your footstep on the stair. Come on in. I know it anywhere. Your old chair in the corner's just sitting there waiting. It's been a long time anticipating. What a long time it's been. So baby, come on in. Over and over I've told myself, I said, son, you've got to lose these blues. Get ready for the day when she'll walk in the door. So I dusted off your house coat and I polished up your shoes. Come on in. You know you're welcome here. Oh, come on in. It's been a long, long year. Now I know why I waited around. I wouldn't run around town, let them put me down. I knew if I waited I would win. So baby, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, come on in. Walking down the lonely street, I need someone to meet. I run across sweet looking you. Do you know what you do? Oh, you tear the top right off my head. You blow my mind. Yeah, I'm going blind. Freaking out in the afternoon, looking at a daytime moon. Talk to me, I'll talk to you. Do you know what you do? Yeah, you tear the top right off my head. You blow my mind. I'm going blind. Hector Lance. Sitting by a firelight, coffee cups for two. Touch my lips with your fingertips. Do you know what you do? Yeah, you tear the top right off my head. You blow my mind. Yeah, I'm going blind. My lady sun is sinking fast. My race is nearly run. My strongest trials now have passed. My trials
band. Come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my immortal home. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snow white wings to my.
All right, hello and welcome back to Monkee Morning. If you're just tuning in, Monkee Morning is a special program for Radio Depaul's 48-hour live Rock the Clock. And before our break, we heard 4 tracks from the Missing Links Volumes 2 and 3 from the Monkees. We heard St. Matthew, Come On In, Tear the Top Right Off My Head, and Angel Band. Oh, sorry, that was really loud. I was corrected by a listener during our musical break that the version of St. Matthew that I played was not recorded on my birthday. They did record a version on my birthday. This just is a different one on the album. But Come On In was recorded on my birthday. They went a little crazy on February 8th, 1968 because they knew that I was going to be born 30, don't make me do math, some years later. I was born in 2002. Anyways, so the next 2 tracks I have for you aren't really related. They're just on the same compilation album, so I figured I would play them together. The first one is D.W. Washburn, which was released as a single in 1968 and wasn't really put on any albums, but it's cute, it's fun, it's silly, it's a Mickey song, so it's fun. And then I have the live version of MGBGT, which was a Peter solo song that he wrote, but during their 1986 20th reunion tour, they would play that Peter song, and they would have this little, this track doesn't have it, but they would do this little bit at the beginning where they would go, Peter would start playing it, and Mickey and Davey would go, "Hey, I don't know this one," and Peter would be like, "That's because it's a me song. It's a new song by me. It's a love song about my car." That's like almost word for word. Anyways, here is D.W. Washburn.
D.W. Washburn.
I heard a sweet voice say,
D.W. Washburn.
this is your lucky day. A hot bowl of soup is waiting. A hot bowl of soup and a shave.
D.W. Washburn.
We picked you to save.
Can't you hear the flugelhorn? Can't you hear the band? Even you can be reborn. You're naughty ne'er-do-well.
If you don't get out of that gutter before the next big rain,
D.W. Washburn.
on, get up off your street. If you can only make it from your hands to your knees, I know you can make it to your feet. D.W. Washburn. I said to myself, D.W. Washburn, why don't you go save somebody else? Well, I got no job to go to. I don't work and I don't get paid. I got a bottle of wine, I'm feeling fine. And I believe I got it made. I'd like to thank all of you good people for coming to my aid. But I'm D.W. Washburn. I do believe I got it made. D.W. Washburn. I do believe I got it made. Don't need nobody. I do believe I got it made.
Lately my mind is drifting back to former days that used to be. I think about some folks I knew and of my MGBGT. People, let me tell you that if I had to make a recipe for fun and driving, I would have to spell it MGBGT. Cruising, choosing, using, and amusing myself, not a care. Striving, driving, not riding anywhere. Folks, this little car of mine is like a kitten purring throatily. Sometimes it even seems to soar into the heavens, my red MGBGT. Tooling, fueling, my good feeling, schooling me in place to go. Soaring, glorying in, adoring in my little way to go. Folks, this little car of mine is like a kitten purring proudly. Sometimes it even seems to soar into the heavens, my red MGBGT. Learn you have to lose something before you treasure them, that's how it goes. And I didn't give time to my car, lost my car to time, what did I know? And so life carries on and lots of things are better now for me. And yet I think back on those golden times when I had my red MGBGT. And so life carries on and lots of things are better now for me. And yet I think back on those golden times when I had my red MGBGT. My BGT, my little red MG, my MGBGT,
All right, welcome back to Monkey Morning on Radio Depaul for Rock the Clock. So we just heard a Monkee single from 1968, and we heard a Monkees performance from their reunion tour in 1986, which is a perfect transition into what we're going to be covering next, which is the Monkees comeback album, Pool It, released in 1987. I love it. It's great. But I have some unfortunate news. Pool It flopped very badly. If I were alive in 1987, personally, I think I would have stopped it from flopping, but that's just me. So I have 3 tracks from Pool It. One thing about Pool It is that Mike wasn't involved. He was off doing his, we'll discuss this more when we get to our Mike section, but he was off doing his video, MTV, making home video parts. He was doing other stuff. He was like, I'm not going to be involved. And for some, me would say that was for the best, because like it would have been a completely different album if Mike were on it. And as much as I love Mike, I think because there's no Mike, this album turned out really interesting. And it, like I said, it flopped, but it's still a wonderful album. Many older Monkees fans may be like, "Oh, Pull It was bad," because it's 80s. It's very stylistically 80s. And if you're not into 80s music like me, you probably wouldn't be as into it. But I love the Monkees and I love 80s music when I'm not listening to the Monkees. So Pull It is like a combination of two of my love music things. I'll stop going on about Pull It because I got more. I got so much more I want to show you, and we got about an hour left. So I got 3 tracks from Pull It, 1 from each guy. We got Getting In, which is a Peter song, and it's one of the most beautiful songs to me. I will play a Peter track and I will go, this is the most beautiful song ever. And that's because it is. It's true. Almost all the time, it is true. But I remember listening to Getting In, like right after getting into the Monkee, right after starting to listen to the Monkees, because my friends had sent it to me and they were like, you got to listen to this one. You'll like it. And it just knocked my socks off. I was like, this is it. This is great. And then I'd Go the Whole Wide World, which is a Mickey cover of the Reckless Eric song of the same name. And I really like this one because I like the original song. The original is like a punk-ish song. And then Mickey did a cover of it. It's not as punk, but it's great. I was really surprised when I first heard it because it's like it's a deep cut in a way. And then I have what some would consider the worst song on the album, but that's literally not true. I have She's Moving In with Rico, and then it's a Davey song, and it's not the worst song on the album, I will tell you that. There are other Davey songs that are the worst song on the album, okay? But let's just listen to the beauty of Getting In.
You'll never, never leave
probably lives in Tahiti. Or maybe she's in the Bahamas, where the Caribbean Sea is blue. Weeping away in the tropical night because nobody's told about you. I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world just to find her. I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world to find out where they hide her. Why am I hanging around in the rain out here, trying to think of a girl? Why are my eyes filling up with these lonely tears when there's girls all over the world? Or is she lying on a tropical beach somewhere underneath the tropical sun, hiding away in the heat wave there, hoping that I won't be long? I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world just to find her. I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world to find out where they hide her. I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world just to find her. I go the whole wide world, I go the whole wide world to find out where they hide her. I go the whole wide world. 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 There were tears in her eyes when she gave me the news last night. I tried to disguise all the hurt that I felt inside. She said she'd always like to be my friend. What could I say? This was the end. She's moving every week. Everybody's hero. She's moving every week, and she don't need me no more. We stood by the door and she put her hand in mine. Could have fell through the floor when we said our last goodbye. I just stood and watched her walk away. The love of my life is leaving today. She's moving every week, everybody's hero. She's moving every week, and she don't love me
right, welcome back to Monkee Morning on Radio Depaul. And if you're just tuning in, Monkee Morning is a special program, a part of Rock the Clock, Radio Depaul's 48-hour live broadcast fundraiser for Lurie Children's Hospital. If you want to help support the cause, just go to the website, radiodepaul.com, and click the banner at the top of the page, and you can donate there. And again, this hour of the show is sponsored by Do Right Donuts. Okay. So we're going to do a bit of a time jump before we get into solo music, just because I want to play one song. It's going to be a short one. And this takes some explaining to do. Or not really, but basically, in 1996, the Monkees got back together to make a new album, all four of them. And it was another headquarters situation where they wanted to do everything themselves. And they did a lot of it themselves. And that album is called Just Us. And some would say it's bad. And I would agree with that in a lot of cases. I would agree with that. It's not their best album at all. But what it stands for, and like what it represents, like creative freedom, I think is really, really important that they were able to do something creatively themselves again, like just themselves, just us. So while I don't particularly like many of the tracks on it, except for one, and that's Admiral Mike, which I won't be playing today because it's a controversial opinion that I like this song, Admiral Mike, but I don't have time to play it. What I will be playing for you is the 1996 version of Circle Sky, because I watched like behind the scenes footage of them recording this, and Mike talks about the fact that this is like them coming back. You know, they're back again, because that is they made it once again. So I think this one is just a little representative of, a little on the nose of what the album is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, hey, we're the Monkees, we're back, and we did it. We're on our own again. So this is Circle Sky, the 90s version.
1, 2, 3, pow!
Rise on step. seen, you must believe. If you can, if you can. Circle sky, telling lies. Rise on deck, idle friend. 'Cause it looks like we made it once again. Oh yes, it looks like we made it to the end.
All right, welcome back to Monkey Mornings after our very brief Circle Sky interlude. Now that we've covered Post Monkees in the best way that I can, Post Monkees releases, we're going to start in on solo work. So let's start in on my beautiful favorite, Peter Tork. So I have four Peter Tork tracks that we're going to cover. So in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, Peter worked with this group called the New Monks, and he made a lot of demos for him, but only ever got 2 tracks released. So I'm going to play the 2 tracks that they released because I love them so much, and that is his version of I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, and then a song called Higher and Higher, which is a song he wrote himself. And I really, really wish the New Monks had gone somewhere because there's a lot of their demos that survive and are on YouTube and other various sites, and like it's so good. It's just like it's like new wave, like post-punk. It's very Talking Heads-esque, and it's just I really, really wish they had gone somewhere with it. But Peter Tork, so he deserves so much better. We'll just leave it at that. But I can never leave it at that. And then moving on, I have a track from a compilation album of like folk music, and it's just Peter doing a traditional folk song called I Truly Understand. And then moving forward to 1994, in 1994, Peter released a solo album called Stranger Things Have Happened. He made it with his friend James Lee Stanley, and then Mike and Mickey are also featured on some of the tracks. Davey wasn't able to show up, so Davey is not featured on any of the tracks. But Stranger Things Have Happened. Some tracks I like more than others, but the one I'm going to play for you is probably my favorite off of the album, and that's Milkshake. But I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, Peter version, which we're going to play now, it's wonderful. It's new waveified. It's everything I have ever asked for in a Monkees song, and it's not a Monkees song.
You're using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all them high fashion magazines. The clothes you're wearing, girl, they causing public scenes. I said, I'm not your stepping stone. Oh, I'm not your stepping stone. When I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes. Now you're walking around like your front page news. You've been awful careful Well, your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Keep it up, which is my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. Because your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Closest friend, but you came and he soon departed, and I'll never see his face again, because your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. I'm so glad that I finally found you. Yes, that one in a million girls. When I wrap my loving arms around you, well, I'm ready, yeah, to face the world. Because your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Because your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher. Your love keeps on lifting me higher, 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 higher.
Remember what you said, my dear, when we stood side by side. You swore you'd love no one but me and be no other man's bride, my dear, be no other man's bride. And I truly understand that you love another man, and your heart shall no longer be mine. I wish to the Lord I'd never been born or died when I was young and seen them two brown eyes of yours, or heard that flattering tongue, my dear, heard that flattering tongue. And I truly understand that you love another man, and your heart shall no longer be mine. Now who's gonna shoe your pretty little foot? Who's gonna glove your hand? Who's gonna kiss your ruby red lips when I'm in the foreign land, my dear, when I'm in the foreign land? And I truly understand that you love another man, and your heart shall no longer be mine. heart shall no longer be mine. She wore an apron that was covered in gravy stains. She had a little green book and she had varicose veins. I was tired, I was hungry, I was ready to snap. She dropped the steaming gumbo right in my lap. I was alone, otherwise I would have trashed the place. But I was soothed by the music and her beautiful face. The meat was chewy and the chicken was bland. I'm not a pigeon, but she had me eaten out of her hand. And I feel like a milkshake. I never ordered a slice of life a la mode. What I need is an earthquake. I could hide in a crack in the road. But I feel like a milkshake. Feel like a milkshake. She started sponging my pants, it really tickled me. She grabbed my plate and sank her teeth into my pickle. She sat down on my lap and started picking my teeth. She was as naked as a baby underneath. We were lost in the dream on a bed of fluffy rice when I was grabbed by the chef. He had a grip like a vice. He had gold medallions and a hairy chest. I gave him back his wife, but he was still depressed. And I feel like a milkshake. I never ordered a slice of life a la mode. What I need is an earthquake. I could hide in a crack in the road. But I feel like a milkshake. Feel like a milkshake. I tipped heavy so they wouldn't think the Yankees were mean. I saw a ground beef patty hit the coffee machine. I could tell this gorilla was the moody kind. I could have used a doggy bag, but I've changed my mind. One of these hungry days, and when my luck runs dry, I'm gonna meet that great soda jerk in the sky. He'll set the heavenly blender for the final frappe, wipe the fudge from his beard, and then he'll probably say, Do you feel like a milkshake? At the end of your slice of life a la mode, we could split a devil's food cake, but the man with the van never showed. So we'll both have a milkshake. Both have a milkshake.
All right, welcome back to Monkee Morning with me, Kieran. And if you are just tuning in, Monkee Morning is a program, a part of Rock the Clock, our 48-hour live broadcast. And if you want to donate to our cause, you can go to our website and click on the banner at the top of the page. You can donate there. So we just discovered or explored Peter Tork's solo exhibitions. Is that the right word? I kept saying that yesterday, and I don't think that's the right word. Whatever. Anyways, so moving on, I am combining Mickey and Davey's solo experience together because in a way, so after the Monkees ended, there was that last album that was just Mickey and Davey, but after the Monkees ended, Mickey and Davey went on a tour with Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, who are Monkees songwriters, and it was like the guys who wrote them, the guys who sang them, but Mickey and Davey were really, really hanging out after the Monkees ended. They were still boy best friends, like rocking with it, and that's great. So I figured, why not combine their solo songs into one chunk? And can I say, I'm going to say something. I don't know a lot about Davey's solo work apart from this one track that I'm going to play for you, and then his solo work in like the late 90s, early 2000s, which was bad. We'll just say it was bad. Mostly because Davey well, he was a singer and he did play some instruments, wasn't very musically creative in things that weren't ballads. And personally, I don't really like ballads, so it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, and I'm sorry, Davey. Anyways, I have what I would say is one of the few Davey solo songs that I like, and that is Rubberine from 1973. I tried to get a vinyl of this promo, but they're really hard to come by. And then for Mickey, I have two songs. So he released a bunch of singles in the 70s, and this is just anecdotal. This is something I read in a Facebook group, and I don't know if it's true or not, but allegedly, some of the reason that some of his solo singles flopped is because Monkees fans were calling in to stations too much, and the stations were like, okay, you're calling too much asking us to play this, so we're not going to play it. But that's I have no source on that apart from people on Facebook. So don't take that with a grain of salt. But for Mickey's singles, I have Easy on You, which I think is a little fun one. And then Daybreak, but the mono version. Personally, I don't like the stereo version of Daybreak. I think it sounds much better mono. So here is Rubberine.
I have a girl, an inflatable girl. She came last week in the mail. She is bouncy and clean, made of soft neoprene, perfectly formed in every last detail. Quietly she sits with me when we go out to eat, and when I take her out to dance, she's so light on her feet. My Rubberine, oh my sweet Rubberine, true love between me and Rubberine. She never cries, she never nags, or takes my favorite chair. And if she starts to droop and sag, well, I just add more air. She understands, and she makes no demands, like other young ladies I've seen. So I think I'm gonna stay with my girl and my puncture-proof world. It's true love between me and Rubberine. My Rubberine, oh, we share every dream. No secrets between me and Rubberine. Dear Rubberine, people's gossip is mean, but it won't come between me and Rubberine.
When I can catch you doing nothing at all, that's when I wanna be with you. When you will let me give my all and all, I'm gonna make it easy on you. The moment you kiss me was my heart's delight, so I'm gonna keep you out all night. You say you miss me, it's a crying shame, so I'm gonna make you use my name. Your eyes, your lies keep me hypnotized, so I've got to go where you go. When I can get you doing nothing at all, that's when I wanna be with you. When you will let me give my all and all, I'm gonna make it easy on you. gonna come my way, baby. Hey, you're gonna come my way. Your eyes keep me hypnotized, so I got to go where you go. Your yes, your no's keeps me on my toes, so I got to go where you go. And I can keep doing nothing at all. That's when I wanna be with you. Then you will let me give my all and all. I'm gonna make it easy on you, baby. Gonna make it easy on you. I'm gonna make it easy on you, baby. Gonna make it easy on you. I'm gonna make it easy on you. Here comes the daybreak, it's making me sad. Here comes the daylight, and it's making me sad. Had a good time last night, the best I ever had. But here comes the daylight, it's making me sad. So sad, so sad, so sad, so Here comes the daylight, it's bringing me down. It's causing me heartache, it's spinning my head around. Had a good time last night, just me and my friends. But here comes the daylight, so now it's the end. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Here comes the daylight, yeah. Here comes the daylight. Here comes the daybreak, it's bringing me pain. It's causing me heartache, I wish it would rain, yeah. Here comes the daylight, it's making me cough. It's causing me heartache, it's kissing me off. Have a good time last night, but then the moon slips. Now all that will save me is totally eclipsed. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Here comes the daylight. Here comes the daylight. It's coming. Here comes the daylight. It's coming. Here comes the daylight. Here comes the daylight. Here comes the
All right, welcome back to Monkee Morning on Radio DePaul. We just covered very, very briefly Mickey and Davy's solo excursions. I think it's excursions. I'm gonna stop trying to say the E word that I'm thinking of because I feel like it's not working for me. Okay, so we just covered Mickey and Davy, and now it's time to get to the behemoth of solo music for the Monkees, and that is Mike. So I have a lot I want to play, so I'm going to keep this very brief, but Mike had a lot of different solo things going on throughout his whole life. So to start it off, we have the first national band, which is what Mike did directly after the Monkees, and that is him and three other guys, Red Rhodes, John London, and John Ware. I'm talking so fast, but I need to educate. And it's a country, it's like pioneering country rock. He basically was like, I want to combine country western music with the rock music that I'm already making, or was already making, and he did, and it's great, and it's like inventing a genre of modern country as we know it today. And I think it's really great. So I have 3 tracks, but I'm going to play you 2 right now. And the first one is my favorite, this is my favorite First National Band song, and that is Little Red Rider. He recorded a version of this for the Monkees, but I like this version a lot more. And then I have Thanks for the Ride, which is off of his second First National Band album, Loose Salute, which, well, Little Red Rider is my favorite. It's off the first album, Magnetic South. I think Loose Salute as a whole is my favorite Mike album. Just so you know. And then we're going to move on past First National Band. We're going to get into Mike solo. And we have the big one, Cruisin'. So Cruisin' is where music videos all started for him. It came off his album Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma, and Cruisin' has this very silly music video that they recorded. I don't have time to get into Mike music video history, but if you are into, that stuff, I would say look into Elephant Parts and Television Parts, and just because Mike was instrumental in creating what we know is the modern day music video. So to save time, because like I said, I have a lot of Mike stuff I want to show you, I'm just going to get right into it, and here is Little Red Rider.
Little Red Rider, ride on the railroad, and she cried. Little Red Rider, ride on the railroad, waved goodbye. So long, sunshine, ride away. I know you'll come back someday and light my life. Little Miss Red's asleep on the railroad, there she goes. Little Miss Red's asleep on the railroad, no one knows that Little Miss Red is Little Miss Blue, and she looks a lot like you around the eyes. Nobody was home in town. Oh, nobody was home in town. Nobody was home in the town I called home. Somebody said they all had drowned. Bye-bye, sweet miss, give me one kiss and then I'll go. Bye-bye, sweet miss, give me one kiss, don't let it show. Then turn your brown eyes to the wall. Was that message there before you were so wise? Sweet miss, give me one kiss and then I'll go. Bye-bye, sweet miss, give me one kiss, don't let it show. Then turn your brown eyes to the wall. Was that message there before you were so thunder rumbling, twice the size, echoes distant to my goodbyes. I'll just mosey on, thanks for the ride. Desert clearing, forgotten miles, hands me my Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. You're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona were trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. And Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.
Welcome back to Monkee Morning on Radio Depaul. Again, Monkee Morning is a special program for Rock the Clock, and currently we are exploring post-Monkees solo music, specifically Mike's solo work. So, like I said, I have a lot of Mike stuff I want to play, and I really wish I could play you more Mike stuff, just have like a whole Mike show, but we don't have time, unfortunately. Maybe next Rock the Clock. Tune in next year when I do a Mike Nesmith show. Anyways, moving on. I have another song from the album Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma, and that's Tonight. I really like this song, just in general. I did a project based around this song for my editing class. It's like up there with Little Red Rider as my favorite Mike songs. And I know I'm skipping around a lot. I'm going straight from First National Band to Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma. But there's so much Mike stuff that you could listen to and that I want to cover. So we're gonna jump. So after Tonight, we're also gonna do another big jump, and we're gonna move to 1992 with his return. Because in the 70s and the 80s, Mike got into rock music and home video, and he didn't really care about country music all that much right then. And then in 1992, he released this album called Tropical Campfires, which was his return to country music. And from that, I have Laugh Kills Lonesome. Very fun song. To my sound professor, Jeff, if you're listening to this, shout out to Tropical Campfires. I really wish you got to work on it. And then to finish off the morning, we have what I think is the most fun Mike song. We're going back to First National Band just because I want this to be our outro song. And that is Mama Nantucket from his first album, Magnetic South. Here is Tonight.
You get the moon, I'll get the stars. You get the wind, I'll get the cars. You make the stops and I'll make the starts tonight. You get the gomba, I'll get the biz. Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. I've got the soap, you get the toys. I'll get the girls and you get the boys. cattle were all pinned. Someone must have cracked a wise one, because the men began to grin. Their smiles shot out like sunbeams and made the night give in. Because laugh kills lonesome every single time. That's why Charlie Russell painted it, and why it looks so fine. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. Roy and Dale and Pecos Bill, they knew all about this. And so did Walt and Asui, who gave it their own twist. Sometimes when things can't get much worse, life's become a fist. Someone will crack a wise one, and laughter works like this. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. That's why Charlie Russell painted it, why it looks so fine. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. That's why Charlie Russell painted it in the first place, and why it looks so fine. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. Laugh kills lonesome. Laugh kills lonesome. Laugh kills lonesome every single time. Oh, Mama Nantucket, she tried to kick the habit, but she couldn't, and she got some. I tried to relieve her, but she wasn't a believer until she tried another one. I love it here on the range. Come a tie, I would love it more if it changed. I love it here on the range. Come a tie, I would love it more if it changed. Oh, Bobby with a dollar, he was sure he found the answer, but it might take a little time. Play and follow the leader, he was sure would be a winner, but I had other things on my mind. I love it here on the range. Come a tie, I would love it more if it changed. I love it here on the range. Come a tie, I would love it more if it changed. I see all the people running, coming from miles around. Everybody
right, and that concludes Monkee Morning for today. Well, since this was a special for Radio DePaul's Rock the Clock, that concludes Monkee Morning for what will be the year.